Number 3 was a guy who I never saw play because it was before my era.
Yeah.
But I grew up, again, we talk about legends, right? And we talk about these mythical giants of the game. I grew up listening to the music and the stories of a guy called Max Boyce, a Welshman. He's very famous in Wales, and I just heard these stories about this guy. And I got curious, and I asked my dad about it, and he showed me some videos, and I just fell in love with him, and it's Barry John. King John, all-time Welsh legend. It was so difficult because I think we can just pick a Mount Rushmore of Welsh fly-offs. You know, they had Jonathan Davies, they had Cliff Morgan in the 50s, and Phil Bennett, who, if you have this argument between me and my dad, I'll pick Barry John, he'll pick Phil Bennett. He was a big Phil Bennett guy, but Barry John for me was just one of those classic fly-offs that had the complete skill set. He never struck you as a very quick fly-off, but he could break a line and jink and swerve and run around players. Like if you look at the tries that he scored, and I'll show a couple, he was untouchable just with his sidestep. He would just jinx, in between defenders. A great exponent of the drop kick. He kicked a couple of really good drop kicks in wet and heavy fields. He was instrumental in that 1971 Lions series win over New Zealand. Okay, Phil Bennett did the same in South Africa, but Barry John unfortunately retired at the age of 27. He retired really, really early. He should have played another 6-7 years at the highest level, but again, then we probably won't have seen Phil Bennett coming through. So I think for the Welsh folks out there, it was beneficial that he retired early because you got to see Phil Bennett. But for me, again, just growing up, hearing stories of him and then being able to see footage of him play later on and watch full matches of him, which I do have access to. Again, just a general. He ran that show, him with Gareth Edwards at 9, and guys like John Dawes and Taylor outside of them, and JJ Williams and Gerald Davies and JPR, that backline, they were just superstars, and he was the lead singer in that band. Loved Barry John, had to get him on.
Mate, you talked about that particular team and that era of Welsh rugby as being rock stars, and so to hear you describe them as that kind of band and him at the helm as the lead singer, I can understand. And in my research and kind of looking into players of the past, I didn't know Barry John. I haven't had the time, or at least I haven't seen enough of his stuff to really have a grasp of how good he was. But in the forums and in the sort of chats that I was looking at, his name came up consistently.